أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين الرحمن الرحيم مالك يوم الدين إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين اهدنا الصراط المستقيم صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين آمين. We give thanks to Almighty Allah, the beneficent, the merciful, the Lord of the world. We adore Him, we glorify Him. May His peace and blessing be upon Wasallam and His companion and His household. This is just a continuation of our topic delivered in the first episode about the compilation of the Holy Quran. We've said a lot that the Quran was sent by Almighty Allah to Prophet Muhammad through Angel Jibreel. The messenger from Allah was a trustworthy. Also, the Prophet also himself is what a trustworthy. This shows that Quran came from what? From a reliable source and passed through reliable what? Source to what? To the readers. That is, we Muslims. So now, on the issue of the variant mode of recitation of Quran, there are hadith in which buttress the mode of recitation. I said earlier in the first episode that we can't say that there are different versions of Quran. No, there are ways in which Quran can be recited. There are various mode of recitation which does not affect the meaning. I'm going to prove that, inshallah. So let me cite just a hadith to buttress the point that Quran was revealed to the Prophet in seven mode of recitation. Now, in hadith reported by Imam Muslim, that hadith was through Ubay ibn Ka'b. He says, Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, Jibril came to him and said to the Prophet, Inna Allah ya'muruka an takra ummatuka al-Quran ala harfi. That, O Muhammad, Allah instructed you that you should tell what your ummah, your followers, to recite Quran in a single mode of recitation. The Prophet replied to Jibril, As'alullaha mu'afatahu wa maghfirata. I seek from Allah is favor and is forgiveness. Wa inna ummati la tutiqu dhalik. My ummah, my followers, they cannot be able to do that because in Arabian Peninsula there are different community that has different accent. That's so my followers, they will not be able to recite Quran unanimously in a single mode of recitation. He now says, As'alullah, I am seeking from Allah His favor and His forgiveness. So he repeat that 3 times until Jibril says, Inna Allah ya'mur, that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala ya'muruka, He has instructed you and takra ummatuka al-Quran. Tell your followers to be reading Quran in 7 different mode. For ayyuma harfin qarahu alayhi. Each mode of recitation, they adopt faqad asabu. They are on the right way. This hadith shows that it is from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that gave Prophet that revelation in different mode of recitation. That the mode of recitation did not occur from the Prophet himself, but what Allah gave to him. Let me cite another example, another hadith as a proof on this before I move. This hadith was reported by Imam Ahmad bin Ambal that a man was reading Quran. Then there is a Sahaba named Amr. He said, no, this is not how the Quran was revealed. Then the Prophet himself now told them that Inna hadha al-Quran, this Quran, unzila ala sab'at ahrufin, was revealed in 7 modes of recitation, 7 modes. For ayyu dhalika qara'tu, any mode you select, you pick, accept to you on the right way. Fala tumaru. So don't argue. Don't be in any argument. Don't fight on that. This shows that Quran was revealed in what? In 7 modes of recitation. I'm coming back to that. So we've established that the Quran was revealed in the time of the Prophet in 7 modes of recitation from Almighty Allah directly. Now, Quran was compiled in his lifetime with this 7 modes of recitation. After the death of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, Abubakar became the Khalifa. There was a war named Ghazwatul Yamama. That is the war that was fought against those who engage in apostasy, those who renounce religion, Islam as well as a religion. So they were fought. In this battle, the battle was severe. In this battle, among those Muslims that memorized Quran, 70 among them were killed in this war. This generated an anxiety in the mind of the Muslims. That then Umar raised an issue to Abubakar. Oh Abubakar, we need to compile Quran in a bookish form, to compile it in a single form, because we are scared that Quran may disappear. Because those who memorized Quran, most of them were killed in the battle of Yamama. Don't forget that I said that Quran was written in different materials. In other words, the lifetime of the Prophet. So now that's why when Umar brought this suggestion, Abubakar reluctantly received this suggestion, because he said that how will I do what Prophet did not do? But Allah guided them to the right path. So they agreed that they should compile Quran in a bookish form. Zayd ibn Thabit, who was among the scribe of the Prophet, in fact is one of their leaders, he was called. Abubakar instructed him after he discussed with him at length that you have to document, we have to compile Quran together. Later, after several arguments, Zayd ibn Thabit accepted that message. Then the announcement was made in Medina that every Muslim who has a copy or who has any material in which Quran was written should come forward. They want to authenticate. As I said, that Zayd ibn Thabit and the other 3 men that were selected to do this compilation, they memorized the whole Quran. They memorized the whole Quran offhand. So they made an announcement that anyone who have 1 or 2 materials in which he has recorded Quran should come forward. They want to authenticate what they have in their memory and what people wrote down. Also, among the scribe who wrote Quran that has a copy was Zayd ibn Thabit. People started coming. They started to compare what they memorized and what people have written in their material. They were able to compile Quran in a bookish form. Even there was a man called Ibn Abi Huzaima. He was the one that brought to them he was the only one that wrote it down, but Zayd ibn Thabit had this in his memory, so they compiled this together. That's how Quran was compiled in a bookish form. Then it was kept in the house of the Prophet Muhammad. After the death of Abubakar, then Umar became the Khalifa. Quran was still recited offhand. People memorized Quran. The Arab people, they are still in their domain, living alone without any emigrants. During the time of Uthman, the 3rd Khalifa, the 3rd Caliph, during his time, there was a battle also that was fought. In this battle, the battle was fought in Iraq. After the battle, many of Muslims that memorized Quran were killed in the battle. After the battle, there was a concern from Huzaifa bin Yaman that when they got to Iraq, they met people reciting Quran in different modes. Then they were even fighting. How are they doing that? My own is superior to you. Mine is superior to yours. When Huzaifa bin Yamani returned to Mecca, he discussed with Uthman that Uthman, you are the Khalifa. When we went for the war in Iraq, we met people reading Quran in different mode of recitation. But we were not concerned much about that. But they were even fighting. Some will say mine is superior to what? To yours. I think we should compile Quran together and send them the copy from the Khalifa. Uthman also, I think Uthman also subscribed to this suggestion that they should compile Quran in the third compilation. In this third compilation, how did it different from what Abubakar did? The compilation of Abubakar is from different materials to a single word source in a bookish form. But what Usman did is to make several copies of Quran and send it to those provinces. Do you know what Usman did? What he did is that they compiled Quran. It was written in several copies with these 7 modes of recitation. But what he did is quite different from what Abubakar did. What Abubakar did is that all these 7 modes of recitation were put together in a single book. But what Uthman did was that he compiled Quran with this 7 modes of recitation, but not in single copy. For example, now, if there is a word in Quran that may be read in 3 mode or 4 mode, in a copy he will use 1 mode. In another copy he will use another mode of recitation. In another copy another one, so that he will make sure that those copies contain each mode of recitation. This is what Umar did. And after he compiled the Quran, he sent it to the prophets and told them that all the copies you have before, try and get them burnt. This is the one that came from the Medina, from the capital of Islam, with that 7 mode of recitation. 7 mode. I say that it doesn't affect the meaning. It's just the word. For example, in Surah Al-Fatiha, we said Maliki Yawmiddin. In another mode of recitation, you can say Maliki Yawmiddin. So these are the mode of recitation. That's how it was compiled then. Then let me tell you, during this time, the time of the Prophet himself, the era of Abubakar, the era of Umar, the era of Uthman, there was nothing like dots. That is, Arab, they wrote their letters without any dots. Then nothing like Fatah, Kesra, Doma. No, nothing like that. It means the Quran that was compiled during the time of Umar, of Abubakar, even the Prophet and even Uthman, was compiled, was written down without any dots on top of it. What I mean is that, when you write letter Kha, you put dot on it. You can make difference between Ba, Ta, Tha with dots, but then there was nothing like that. It is because this was their language. It is their language. They accustomed to it. They read it without any dot. Also, the issue of Fatiha, Kesra, Duma was not in existence then. By that, they could read Quran and any other things written in Arabic language because it is their mother tongue. They don't need to learn all this. What brought the issue of put dot on a letter, it is when the influx of the non-Arab with Arab occurred. Then the non-Arab, they need to learn this language before they could be able to read. So they are now the dot. An arrangement was made on the letter and put dot on those letters to differentiate. Also, Fatiha, Kesra, Doma were introduced to ease the learning for the non-Muslims because of the influx with the Muslims. So these are the cause of These are the cause of the dot and the issue of Fatiha, Kesra, and Doma. It means the Quran that was revealed, that was even compiled by the time of Umar, the time of Abu Bakr, the Prophet himself, It's without what? Without dot, then without any sign, any mark. No fatia, no kesro, no doma. The Arab, they were able to read it. So now, what do we mean by this 7 mode of what recitation? It's just, it doesn't happen to all the words in Quran. No, there are some certain words. This 7 means that there are some words in which you can read the word in singular form. There are some you can read the word in plural form. In what? In plural form. In some area, you can read it like Jannatin in Mufrad. In some, you can read Jannatin as plural. So this is a form of what? A mode of what? Recitation that occur. In another one, there is one you can read a verb in what? In past tense. Also, it can be read in what? In present tense. Also, it can be read in what? In what? In a command tense. So this shows that it can